Stir fries are the best because you can just use leftovers, use stuff that you have lying around. They take no time at all to whip up and it's perfect for a busy weeknight dish. This right here is a classic beef stir fry, one of my favorites, so let's jump straight in. Now with the prep, we're going to need one bunch of bok choy or baby bok choy, and this is about 200 grams worth. All I'm doing is taking off that root to separate those leaves and then giving the leaves a rough chop. I do recommend also giving these a wash because inside those leaves can be trapped dirt. Just make sure that they're nice and clean. Now to go into our stir fry, we're going to need 4 cloves of freshly peeled garlic. Usually I'd grate these on a microplane to create a paste, but because we're going to be cooking this nice and quick, we don't want it to burn too quickly. And slicing it, you're going to get a nice nutty aroma, get those nice caramelized pieces. You can also roughly chop it, but I do prefer to use sliced for this recipe. An optional ingredient is 1 spring onion or scallion. This is on the larger side, so if you have smaller ones, you can use 2 or 3. Separate the stem from the root, and then with that root end, we're going to chop this up into about 1-inch pieces, and this can be used to go in our stir fry, or you can chop the whole thing up into those small diagonal pieces, and this can be used as a garnish at the end. That choice is all yours. Now for the protein, I'm using 400 grams or 14 ounces of fillet, beef fillet or filet mignon, wherever you are in the world. As for this, I've put this in the freezer for about 20-30 minutes just to firm it up. It's going to make things so much easier when we go to slice it, especially for consistency. And we want to slice this across the grain to break up any muscle fibers and slice these into nice thin strips. The thinner they are, the quicker they'll cook, and the thicker they are, the longer they'll cook, but we want to get those nice thin crispy pieces. Into a dry wok, add in 1 teaspoon each of Szechuan Peppercorns, whole Cumin Seeds and whole Coriander Seeds. Place this over a medium to medium high heat and toast for about 1.5 to 2 minutes or until lightly smoking and crackling, and you have that really beautiful fragrance around your kitchen, and then remove it from the heat. Place the toasted spices into a spice grinder, or if you don't have one of those, you can use a mortar and pestle. Blend this up on high speed to get that nice fine powder. If you're using a mortar and pestle, you will need a little bit of elbow grease, but what you're looking for is something that looks like this. Now the noodles that we're using for this recipe is really a matter of preference. I'm using Hokkien noodles and these are already fresh, so all I have to do is put a little bit of boiling water over them just to relax them and loosen them up. And the weight that I'm using is 450 grams or about 15.8 ounces, and always cook your noodles to the packet instructions. Now there's over 80% of you that haven't subscribed to the channel. It's free, it helps me out. Click that button and make sure you turn on all notifications so you don't miss when I upload. Now into the same wok, we toasted the spices, add in 2 tablespoons of peanut oil, place it over a medium heat and then add in the garlic. We're going to stir fry this for about 2 minutes until it takes on that really nice golden nutty flavor and color. And you should have something that looks like this, but we don't want it to be too dark. Increase the heat of the wok to high, get it nice and hot, and then add in all of that sliced beef. Spread it out so it's not sitting on top of one another, and I like to let this sit for about a minute to build a crust, and then we can start stir frying this. And we're going to stir fry this for about 2 to 2.5 minutes until it's taken on a really nice deep golden color and you have those beautiful crispy edges. Then we can add in the ground up spices, mix that all through and cook this for about 45 seconds. When you have that done, we can then introduce the bok choy or bok choy as well as the spring onion or scallion. I did also add a little bit of the green stem in there just because I wouldn't use it all as a garnish. 2 tablespoons or 40 milliliters of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons or 40 milliliters of oyster sauce, and stir fry this for about a minute, minute and a half until everything's taken on that really nice color and everything's coated in the sauce. And if you notice that your wok is getting too hot at any stage, just slightly turn it down. When that's done, you can add in a little bit of chili flakes if you'd like to add a little bit of heat to this, as well as our noodles that have been cooked to our packet instructions. All we have to do here is mix everything together, get that heat through the noodles, make sure everything's coated in the sauce, and what you want is something that looks like this that we can then remove from the heat. Serve this up into bowls, plates, whatever you need to do. This recipe will easily serve 2 people. I don't recommend doing 3, 2 is probably a comfortable amount. Garnish it with the spring onion or scallion. You can add a little bit of coriander or cilantro as well as some fresh chili. But that leaves us with this beautiful classic beef stir fry. With that all said and done, we can then dig in. Everything about that is exactly how I wanted it to turn out. That beef's packed with umami. It's got that nice crisp texture to it as well. You got the veggies in there for even more al dente texture. The noodles are super easy. As you saw, just put a little bit of boiling water over the top. You can use any that you like. And then also with the veggies, just change it up. Use whatever you have in the fridge. Super simple, super delicious, and I cannot wait for you to try it.